In this video, we're going to look at styles, themes, and style sets. So there is a Project 10 starter file, so you should have opened that already. And if you have, go ahead. Um, well, if you haven't, go ahead and pause the video and go ahead and open that. But if you have, go ahead and log in. And as always, or sign in rather, as always, you should have a sign in link up here. In my case, I have a switch account option, so I'm going to do that. And once you have signed in, as evidenced by the fact that your name will now appear up here, and the background image will change, go to File, go to Save As, click the OneDrive Personal option, click Word Projects if you see it, or click Browse if not, and make sure that you double-click on Word Projects if you didn't click Word Projects on the recent folders list. And then go ahead and save this as Project 10 followed by your name. Now, this file looks rather encyclopedic. It is. It's actually the Wikipedia article of the day for the day that I began working on this video. Um, and I'm not going to attempt to pronounce this person's name, but he was the 21st Prime Minister of Australia. A style, also known as a quick style, is a set of formatting options that you can apply by clicking its option in the Styles group on the ribbon. So the Styles group is on the Home tab, so you can see I'm on the Home tab right here. And the Styles group is right here. We have, on my screen right now, I can see 5 styles. You may have more or less, but you can, as with any group of things on your ribbon such as this, you've got a More button right here, so you can simply click on that and you can see all the rest of the styles. Now, we talked about styles briefly a while back, but in this video we're going to dig into them quite a bit more. In the styles group you also have, and actually this is called the styles gallery, I apologize. The styles gallery, which is in the styles group. Um, Remember, anything that has a label down here is a group. So this is styles, this is editing, this is paragraph, this is font, these are groups. But this is actually called the styles gallery, which is within the styles group. So you also have these buttons to move up and down through the list of styles. Depending on your computer, it may have a smooth sliding motion. In my case, I simply flips from row to row, but you may have something a little more smooth. But again, you've got the More button here, and that gives you access to all of the styles, or at least all of the styles that you currently have access to, and we'll get into that a little bit more in a bit. All of the text that you type into a document has a style applied to it. You notice this normal style, which has the blue box around it. That is the default style. And in the default theme, which is called the Office theme, the normal style applies an 11-point Calibri font, left alignment, line spacing set to 1.15, and a small amount of extra space between paragraphs. So, the normal style is the style that we have become accustomed to as we've been working with Word for these past 9 projects. Note that some styles apply paragraph level formatting. That is, they are set up to format an entire paragraph, including changing the paragraph and line spacing, while other styles apply character level formatting. That is, they are set up to format only a few characters or words. For example, you might use this to format a book title in italics. Uh, let's take a look at how that works. Let's say I've got my mouse, or I've got my insertion point rather, um, on the name of the article here, or the title of the article, the name of the person. And if we hover over the styles in the style gallery, you'll notice if I hover over no spacing, um, you get a preview down here. There we go. Now there's no spacing. If I go to heading 1, I get a preview of heading 1. Now notice this changes the font size. It changes um, the font style, font family. It changes from normal to bold. And in some cases, these even change the color. For example, if I go to heading 2, we see there's a color change as well. Heading 3 has a different color, and so on. Heading 4, yet different. Title, very different. Subtitle. And now I'd like you to notice that as I hover over these, the entire line gets changed. Now, if I go down to the first paragraph and I hover over these again, you'll notice it will actually change the entire paragraph. So that means these are paragraph level styles. They apply paragraph level formatting. By simply clicking anywhere in the paragraph and choosing one of these styles, it's going to apply that style to the entire paragraph. But if I get to, I go beyond subtitle to subtle emphasis, or to emphasis, or to intense emphasis, you'll notice that only the name Edward sees the preview. The rest of the paragraph has the normal font applied. What that means is that the subtle emphasis, the emphasis, intense emphasis, strong, um, and subtle reference, and some of these others are character level formatting. They're character level styles. They apply character level formatting. So they're only going to format a few characters or words. So if I've clicked within a single word, I have the insertion point within a single word, it's going to preview based on that word. And if I were to click it, it would apply that style to that word. But if I wanted to apply the style to multiple words, I could simply highlight those multiple words. And then I could choose one of those character level styles. Okay, so let's start formatting our document. Now, as I mentioned, this first line here is the title of the Wikipedia article. So what we're going to do is highlight that entire first line. Now, remember, you can click at either the beginning or end of what you want to highlight, hold the mouse down and drag to the end and then let go. Or if you're highlighting the entire line, you can place the mouse in the left margin and simply click, and that will highlight the entire line. So we're going to apply the title style to the title of the Wikipedia article. So what I want you to do after you've highlighted that is click on the More button and then click Title. And there we go. We notice the blue box is now surrounding the title style. That means that title is applied to this. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit. Now, if we notice in our table of contents, we have basically an outline of our document. That is what a table of contents is, after all. It is effectively an outline. In many cases, the table of contents is a very high level outline. In other words, it's simply the name of each chapter or the name of each section, or maybe a couple layers down. Like, for example, a book that is divided into both chapters and sections might have um, both sections and chapters listed in the table of contents, but you don't usually drill down much farther than that in a table of contents. Indeed, this table of contents shows a few levels down. Right here, we have the number 1, number 2, number 3, and then we have 3.1. So that's um, the early political career, a subdivision of that called Member of Parliament, etc. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I'm simply trying to prepare you for the point I'm about to make. Um, so let's scroll down here below the table of contents and we'll find our first heading. It's early life. So go ahead and highlight early life. And then let's go into the styles. And I'm going to use the row up button, but you could always use the more button if you wanted. So I'll go row up and I'll find heading 1. Now, it would be easy to make the mistake that heading 1 is for the first heading, heading 2 is for the second heading 3 is for the third heading, etc. So early life would be heading 1, military service would be heading 2, early political career would be heading 3. That is kind of what it looks like, isn't it? But actually, heading numbers refer to the level of the heading. So, as I was mentioning earlier, early life is a heading 1, military service is also a heading 1. These are each at the top level, there's nothing above them. Early political career is another heading 1. Meanwhile, member of parliament is below, is inside. It relates to early political career. Therefore, it is a heading 2. Now, if you were to lay this out in an outline, that might help you to see this. Your things that aren't indented at all in your outline would be heading 1. Things that have a small indent are heading 2, etc. But anyway, that is the semantic meaning of the heading numbers. The numbers relate to the level of heading, which again relates to the outline of the document. So I hope that hasn't confused you too much. So anyway, early life, as I said, is a heading 1. So we're going to select that. Okay, scrolling back up here, we're now supposed to look for military service, and then after that we're going to look for early political career. These are each heading 1s as well. So, military service should be on its own on a line here. There we go. So we're going to highlight military service, and then click heading 1. And we'll scroll down some more and find early political career. Highlight that, and heading 1. Now, Member of Parliament, remember, is a subheading of early political career. It's a level down or a level in the outline, so that makes it a heading 2. So I'm going to highlight that. And let's keep going a little bit farther here. Deputy Leader is also a subheading of early political career. That makes it a heading 2. Okay, then we have Leader of the Labor Party. Remember, this was number 4 in our table of contents, and then reforming the ALP was 4.1. So since this is number 4, that makes it back to a heading 1. It's not a subheading of early political career. It's its own heading. So we're going to select heading 1, and then reforming the ALP is a subheading of Leader of the Labor Party. It's 4.1, remember, is the number. So we're going to say heading 2 on that because that's a level in. And Leader of the Opposition is also heading 2. A tip for laying out your, when you're outlining a document, if you have one heading 2, you have to have two heading 2s. And if you have one heading 3, you have to have two heading 3s. Otherwise, you need to find a different way of laying out your document. Okay, and I think that's good for now. Now I'd like to go back here and point out, you notice when we specify that a line is a heading, it gets a little arrow next to it. Now if I simply hover over that and click on it, it allows us to hide the document body that is part of that heading. Remember, we're talking about outlines here. So just as you would outline, say, a research paper, um, the document body, the paragraphs within a heading, within a bullet point, or an item on your outline, um, obviously directly relate to that heading. And so using these little arrows allows you to get a high level view of the structure of your document. Um, if you're quickly browsing through your document trying to find a particular heading, for example, you can make all the body text go away by simply clicking all these little arrows, and that will make it easier to find the exact heading you're looking for. Um, you'll notice if I hover over Leader of the Labor Party, I get the same little arrow. If I click that, it makes everything below heading 1 go away, or everything within this heading go away. But if I go down to reforming the ALP and I click that one, it just makes what is between this heading 2 and this heading 2 go away, because that's the text, the document body or the document text that relates to that heading. Now, headings or styles provide a number of benefits, and one of them, the heading styles in particular, like I said, provide structure to your document. And let's take a look real quick. If we go to the View tab on the ribbon, and within the Views group here, the very first group, click on Outline. This will take us into Outline View, and it will demonstrate one of the benefits of using the heading styles. You'll notice within the early life heading here, we have a number of paragraphs. Each of these paragraphs is a bullet point within that early life. Now, a tip if you're going to college, your professors may love you if you actually write your document in outline view to ensure that you obey the rules of outlining a document. You can begin by placing your notes into under headings, grouping them under headings, laying out your headings. Again, remember, always if you have a subheading, you have to have at least two subheadings. And then after you've pasted your notes into your outline, you can start fleshing out the paragraphs. And then when you're done, you simply close Outline View, and you've got a fully written paper that obeys the rules of outlining for research papers or essays or whatever you are writing. One more word about headings. You'll notice we have 4 headings here. There are actually several levels of headings. However, only the headings that you have used and one additional level appear. So normally when you first start writing a document, you actually only have heading 1 and heading 2 available to you. Once you've used a heading 2, you then have heading 3 available. Once you've used a heading 3, you have heading 4, and so on. In this case, I had already used a heading 3 when I was playing around before I um, started the video, so that's why we had all the way up to heading 4. But you notice if I were to use heading 4, heading 5 would become an option as well. Um, because of the meaning of the headings, remember those levels. Um, you can't use a heading 5 if you don't have a heading 4. So Word simply saves room and confusion in the styles gallery by hiding the headings that you are not yet ready to use. Okay, the next benefit of using of using styles, is themes. A document theme controls the variety of fonts, colors, and other visual effects available as you format a document. There are 44 different themes included in Word, and each offers a coordinated assortment of fonts, colors, and text effects. The themes that come with Word are actually created by professional designers, and so that helps to ensure that your document has a polished, coherent look. When making formatting decisions, you often have the option of choosing a design element created for the current theme. For instance, when selecting a font color, remember we have the font color button right here. When selecting a font color, we're given a number of theme colors. These are colors that are designed to work together within your theme. Um, if you use a theme color and you then change your theme, the color will change along with your theme. On the other hand, if you use one of the other colors, such as one of the standard colors, or if you click more colors, that color will remain even if you change your theme. So, a best practice when you're laying out your document is to use theme colors. That way, if down the road you decide to change your theme, all of your colors will migrate, will change to match the new theme, and you won't have colors that look terrible together. You'll also notice if we click on the font drop down here, there are two theme fonts at the top. All themes have a heading font and a body font. Now these could be the same, but you're never going to have any more than headings and body. And again, you can choose any font you want, but if you choose one of the theme fonts, then when you go and change the theme later on, that particular font will change to match the headings font or the body font of the new theme. So this is a way of, by using these fonts, you can ensure that as you change your theme, um, the the design of your document will continue to mesh or to look nice. So let's talk about how to work with themes. As I said previously, the default theme is the Office theme. Let's go to the Design tab on the ribbon. And within the document formatting group here, we have a Themes button. Now, although it's not obvious at the moment, the Office theme is selected right now. And if I hover over the rest of the themes here, you'll notice that the fonts in the document change to reflect the styles within that theme. Let's say, for example, first let's go back to Office and let's go back to the Home tab and just take a look at our colors here, our theme colors. And then take a look at our theme fonts. Calibri Light is the headings font and Calibri is the body font. Now I will mention heading 1 is not Calibri Light. heading 2, 3, 4 are, but heading 1 is not, and that's because somebody has overridden the theme font for heading 1. So if we go back to design and if we hover over these other themes, you'll notice the heading 1 doesn't actually change. Again, that's because we didn't use a theme font for heading 1. But all the rest of the headings, all of the rest of the fonts in the document will change. So let's click on the WISP theme, and that will apply that theme to your entire document. So you'll notice um, as you're scrolling through, all of the body text is now in a new font. So let's go back to the Home tab and let's see what that font is. So if we click the fonts drop down here, we'll notice that Century Gothic is the font for both headings and body. Now, as I said, that isn't obvious in the heading 1 fonts, but if we scroll down to where we have a heading level 2, right here, you'll notice this font is now the same as the body font. And again, that's because the theme fonts for headings and body are the same, Century Gothic. Back to design, let's look at some more themes. You'll notice you can scroll down. There are a number of themes here. And they use a variety of fonts. Let's click on Quotable here. And you'll notice we have a new color for our heading level 2. Let's go back to Home. And let's click in the font group, the font color dropdown. Now, I don't know if you remember what the theme colors were from before, um, but if you do, you'll notice that theme colors are now quite different. Among other things, this green replaced the theme font that was in the previous theme, more of a maroon. Um, right here, the deputy leader. If we click the font color drop down again, you'll see a very different set of theme colors. But again, they all they all go together nicely. And so as we change themes, the colors continue to go together nicely, despite the fact that they're um, all changing. And that's because we chose theme colors. Again, if we had applied a standard color, for example, these blue underlined links, that blue remains all the time because it's not a theme color, it's a standard color. Back on the Design tab, let's take a look at the colors drop down. The colors drop down and the fonts drop down, which we can take a look at as well, allow us to change the fonts that are the theme colors and the theme fonts, respectively, that are assigned to our document. So if we pretty much like everything about the quotable theme, except we want to choose a different font, we can choose the quotable theme. And then we go to fonts and we can choose whichever font we want. For example, um, this one. And that will apply those theme fonts to our theme, um, changing our theme, by the way, but not permanently changing the theme. If you were to open up a new document and go back to that quotable theme, or even go back to the quotable theme within our current document, it will reset the fonts, the theme font, to the quotable theme fonts. But by simply choosing a different font here, we'll assign those fonts to our document, and then we can actually save this as our own theme. So let's choose, again, choose any of the fonts you want here from the fonts dropdown. And from the colors dropdown, let's choose anything. And you'll notice the tile here on the colors button changes to reflect the colors that we've selected. While we're here, let's specify different paragraph spacing. Let's make it open. Choose whatever you want, really. Let's specify different effects. I'm going to go with glossy, but you can do whatever you want. The effects apply to smart shapes. All right, and now let's click on the themes button again. And down here at the bottom, we have save current theme. So click on that, and let's call this your name and then theme, or whatever you'd like to call it. It's up to you. And then click save. And that is going to save this theme on this computer so that you can use that theme from now on. Now, if we go back to the themes button, you'll notice there's a new custom group at the top, and the theme that you just created is right there. So I can switch back to the office theme, I can switch back to the integral theme, switch back to any of these themes that I want, but I can still get back to my own theme. Next up, we're going to talk a little bit about style sets. I really think that Microsoft just wanted to confuse people by creating these three different things: styles, themes, and style sets. There is a very clear delineation between them once you learn what it is. But unfortunately, it's not, well, it's kind of confusing, and it's not readily visible when you're first exploring these three features. Recall that a style is a set of formatting options that you can apply to a specific text element in a document, such as a document's title, heading, or body text, which we call normal. Or you could specify one of the emphasis options for your body text, of course. Well, a style set is a coordinated set of styles in a document. A style, remember, is a set of formatting options. A style set is a coordinated set of styles. In the styles gallery, we have one particular set of styles specified. This is a default set of styles. Now, if we go to the Design tab and look in the Document Formatting group, we have the Style Sets gallery here. Each style set has a normal style, it has a heading 1 style, a heading 2 style, and so on for the headings. The styles in a style set are designed to convey a specific look. For example, some styles have a bold, modern look. Others have a more casual look. If you mouse over the style sets listed in the style set gallery here, which again is in the document formatting group, it isn't actually labeled style set gallery anywhere. You will see that the document changes slightly. But unless you're actually looking at headings, you're not going to see what that change is. So if you scroll to where you can see a heading and then mouse over each of these, you'll notice that you get a variety of different styles shown as you hover over each of the style sets. So go ahead and choose a style set, whichever one you like. I'm going to do the centered set because I kind of like my titles and my headings to be centered. All right, one more thing we're going to do is we're going to modify a style. So back on the Home tab of the ribbon, in the Styles group, below the Styles gallery, click the Styles dialog launcher. Now this provides a different view of each of the styles within your document. And if you mouse over them, you'll notice tooltips pop up that tell you a little bit about those particular styles. what formatting is applied to those styles at this moment. Now, place your mouse, hover your mouse over these three buttons at the bottom. And the third one is the Manage Styles button. So go ahead and click on that. This shows us all of the styles in our document. Scroll up and choose the Heading 1 style. When we click on that, we'll see a preview of Heading 1 here. We will see a description of how it's currently formatted. And then we have a Modify button. So click on Modify. This allows us to specify a new name for the style if we wanted, a style type, which we'll explore more later. It allows us to specify what the style is based on. In this case, it's based on the normal style. And what that means is, when creating the style, we start with the formatting from the normal style, and then we make changes to it. It also allows us to specify the style for the following paragraph, and that means if you type something as a heading 1 and then you hit enter, um, this style is going to be applied from that point forward. So this is really handy with the headings because you don't usually have two headings in a row unless you've got heading 1 and then a heading 2. But eventually you're going to want to go back to the body text, which remember is normal by default. So we can say that the style for the paragraph following a heading 1 is normal. And that way, whenever we type a heading 1 and then we press enter, we're automatically going to be taken back to the normal group, the normal style, I apologize. And really, the normal style is what you're often going to go back to after um, typing in any other style. But Word is powerful enough to give you choices. So if you, for example, create your own style for, say, say you're creating a resource list, and every time you type in the title of a book, which you're creating a style for, you then type the author of the book, and you're creating a style for that as well. You can make it so that um, once you're done typing the title and you press enter, the following paragraph format that is applied is the author's name format. I hope that makes sense. Um, let's cancel this and let's do exactly that. Okay, so let's try creating our own style. So what we're going to do is click on New Style right down here. And we're going to specify the name of the style. In this case, let's use the example I used before of having a book title followed by the author's name. This might be for a book review, for example. So let's make author our first style. And we're going to go with linked. We're going to base the style on the normal style. And for the following paragraph, let's say that we're going to have the title of the book followed by the author's name and then the body of the review. So the body of the review is going to be normal style. So let's say the style for the following paragraph is normal. Now let's say the author's name should be 12 points and we want it to be italic. And let's add this to the styles gallery. Now we could make this, we can either choose to put this only in this document, so this style is going to only be usable within the document, or we can say we want to save it with the template that this document is based on. We're going to make it only this document in this case, but if you have a style that you use a lot, you can actually save it with the template, and that way it's always available to you. So click OK. So now we have the author style. Now let's go New Style once again, and let's call this Title of Book. I would use book title, but the name is reserved. Um, we're going to leave style type the same. We're going to base this on the normal style again. But this time, we're going to specify author as the style for the following paragraph, because after we type in the title of the book, we're then going to type in the author. Let's make this underlined and bold, and let's give it a 16 or 18 point font. Again, we'll add this to the styles gallery. Let's click OK and click OK once again. We can now close the styles dialog. And now let's go up to the top of our document and let's hit enter a few times here. And now notice in the style gallery, we now see author and we see title of book. So let's click on title of book. You're welcome to use any book you want. John Grisham has a book out right now called Gray Mountain, so I'm going to use that title. And now I'm going to press enter. And you'll notice when I do that, the style is changed to author. We can also see that italic is selected here, the 12-point font is selected there. So now I'm going to type by John Grisham, and I'm going to hit enter once again. And now we're back to normal style. And so I could type my review here. Okay, so in this rather long and not very project-based video, we spent a lot of time exploring the styles. In project 11, we're going to create a template. We've used templates in the past, but we have never created one. So we're going to create a template, and in that one, we're actually going to define our own set of styles and themes, create a theme as well. But I hope this was a good introduction to the finer points of styles, themes, and style sets. And you are welcome to submit the file to me, but there's really nothing, there's no need to. Simply save this so that you can refer to it later if you need to. And then simply proceed on to project 11.